All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Welcome to the ASAP Afternoon Blitz. Got a big show today. Got a lot of talk about big trade last night was made. As most of us on the East Coast are probably getting ready to go to bed. It's kind of late for a trade, but it was a big trade announcement. But before we get to that, joined today by Jay McLovin. How's it going, Jay?
Man, I'm doing well, my brother. Doing well. Again, man, like I said, we got some really good sports this evening to look forward to. What a time to be alive, man. And of course, we're going to obviously talk about Christian McCaffery and what that means going forward. But yeah, what a time to be alive. It's crazy.
Yeah, speaking of Christian McCaffery, that's a big move. I thought he would end up in Buffalo, is where I was thinking he'd probably end up at when they said he might get traded. But, man, that's a big move by the 49ers. And do you think this move makes the 49ers a bigger, well, let's say a contender now in the NFC?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting, because it's certainly going to be interesting to see how, bringing in a Christian McCaffrey is going to affect Deebo Samuel's output going forward now that he is there. I think that's going to dip into a little bit of his numbers. Christian McCaffrey, he can catch out of the backfield. Christian now does not have to be the only guy to carry the team. He now can be a complement rather than the full offense. And that's really where I see the biggest benefit is how will this extend Christian McCaffrey's NFL career now that he doesn't have to be the focal point of every damn play. And I think that's really where the biggest thing. But, yeah, does it help the 49ers? It's going to help the 49ers, no doubt. It's going to help them in the passing game, the run game. But ultimately, it's going to extend McCaffrey's career, and it's probably going to dip into some of Deebo's numbers.
But I also think it could extend Deebo's career too, because now
you're right.
He's not going to have to use as many carries as a running back either. So I think it helps. I think it helps both of them. But yeah, you are right. It's going to dip into some of Samuel's touches, unless they get him more involved in the passing game now that they got a guy at the running back position.
Yeah, and again, Deebo has been asking, when he was asking for the trade back here today, he said he wanted to get away from being utilized, so heavily in a wildcat type of position, that he wanted to be more of a true wideout. And I think now he's going to get that opportunity to actually be more of a true wideout. And that's going to be the biggest thing is how will Garoppolo and the offensive coordinator utilize Deebo now? And what you're right. I think it does help the 49ers. It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I'm really interested in the compensation that Carolina got. As you know, they got a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth, different drafts, but no first. And that's really kind of where I thought Carolina got screwed over. I don't care about the fifth and the fourth. Give me a couple of seconds, maybe like 2 seconds, or maybe a first and 2 seconds. I don't know, but I felt like Carolina did not get enough in terms of quality draft picks. I think they got quantity, but not quality in the draft.
Yeah, And hi as well. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I was surprised that a player of McCaffrey's skill level and the numbers he's put up. Yes, I know he's been injured here lately, but I was surprised they didn't get at least one first round pick for him. I think he's still a type of player that could garner at least one first round pick. I was real surprised when it was just a couple seconds, and then your third and fourth and fifth. So to me, the 49ers got a good deal on this, especially if he can stay healthy and perform. I think they almost stole him in a way.
Yeah.
If it pans out for him, because I can't believe he didn't at least get a first round pick. And man, it's just going to make the 49ers scary sometimes as well, because I guarantee you, they're going to have sets where you have Samuel and McCaffrey both in the backfield. You know what I mean? They're going to be able to use all kinds of different looks now, with adding another weapon like McCaffrey.
No, I definitely absolutely agree with you in terms of the different looks, the different formations. People are going to have to really figure out, who's going to be running the ball, because you could do a fake to McCaffrey, pass it to Sam. I mean, there's so many different, ways you can fool the defenses now that you have two legitimate running backs, but two legitimate receivers, and the way that they can line up is absolutely scary to me at this point.
And at times this year, the 49ers have looked like one of the best teams in the NFC. And then other times they look like they're not a very good team. So they just haven't been consistent. If they could get consistent, I think they could be a threat in the NFC.
Yeah, they're definitely going to be a threat in the NFC. How much of a threat is still to remain. But I tell you, man, they got a chance, honestly, to go deeper into playoffs. I think this year than they did last year, because last year they were a little bit, more one-dimensional with primarily running Debo and not having a guy like McCaffrey that you can use as a wide receiver or, a running back it just gives you so many freaking options. It's ridiculous. So I really expect a lot more out of this team this year than we got last year. The question is now that, the Rams look a little weak. The Bucks look weak. The Vikings look strong. And I think it's going to be a different matchup this go around in terms of when we get into the playoffs, because with the Eagles and the Vikings doing what they're doing, it's going to be a whole different makeup of how we get there.
I would say right now in the NFC, you probably have to say the Eagles, the Vikings, and the Cowboys and the 49ers are probably your top four threats right now.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the top four threats. The Vikings, again, man, that's a team that's really scary. Now that Dalvin Cook looks to be finding his rhythm, and
they have an offensive-minded coach now, not just guys. So, they have looked good. The only game they didn't look good was on that Monday night game against Philadelphia. Other than that, they've looked tough all season.
Yeah, and again, I think the biggest thing there, or the biggest mystery in my mind, is how good is Dallas going to be when Dak takes over. We saw that, narrowly they those 3 interceptions by Cooper Rush really set the Cowboys back because they never could keep the Eagles out of scoring position early and often in that game. But I think now that Dak is back, he doesn't turn the ball over like Cooper did in that game. And so it's going to give them a different look. And I think I'd like to see them get Noah Brown more involved. I think Brown, Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb, and then you throw in Dalton Schultz in there, and you give Pollard maybe the more featured back role, and have Zeke come in and give you the third down or a power running game. This Cowboys team, we still don't know fully what it is they are. I don't think we're gonna know until we see Dak go up against the Cowboys, or Christian, Dak go up against the Eagles. Probably around week 16, I think we'll have more clarity, because then by that time, Dallas will have gone through the Packers, the Vikings, and the Eagles. And I think by the time we get to that Eagles game, if Dallas can beat the Eagles, oh man, I don't know, man. I think that's going to solidify Dallas either being good or Dallas, just being Dallas.
Yeah, and I think the key with Dallas, so you're bringing Dak back this week, which I'm glad he's coming back, but I do still think they're rushing him back. But
Oh yeah, me too. Totally think they're
they
rushing.
can't change their offensive philosophy though just because Dak's back. That's the thing that scares me. If they go to just try and throw the ball all the time, they got to keep doing what they've been doing. Keep the same philosophy you had that when Rush was back there, but now you got a better guy back there. And you're going to thrive. But if they just go to trying to Dak doing everything like they have in the past, I think the offense could start struggling a little bit.
Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. Like I said, I don't like the fact, to your point, I don't like the fact that we've all said that they shouldn't bring him back until most likely at the earliest week 10, which is after the bye against the Packers. That's when I think he should be back. But hey, Jerry gonna do what Jerry does. McCarthy gonna do what McCarthy does. All we can do is, or all I can do is hope and pray that he doesn't get hurt again, and that he can build on this. I mean, that's all you can hope for. And Dak knows Dak, so hopefully Dak is smart enough to say, hey, "Look, I'm not ready," and he pulls it back. But Dak's also a competitor too, so I don't expect that to happen.
Yeah.
What do you say? Oh, you paying Dak millions to hand the ball off? Yeah, jeez, man. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
Well, what's going to happen in Dallas? Let's say they bring Dak back and you guys lose like these next 3 games.
Well, then, if that's the case, then that really tells you that Dak isn't. I guess is he not the true answer? Because I think Cooper can take those games. I think he's shown he can take those games.
We're going to have a lot of fans calling for Cooper Rush to come back in if that happens.
Yeah, honestly, Dak is in a very precarious position, and the Cowboys are too, man. Because now Cooper, you can say, well, Cooper's 4-1 right now as a starter, and Dak is losing against the Lions or the Bears or whatever. And I mean, yeah, they're going to call for his head. They're going to call for him out, and that could be the end of Dak in terms of being a Cowboy. But again, I don't know, man. Jerry has a loyalty to quarterbacks that bars none. He was dangerously loyal to Tony Romo, as we know, for a long period of time. So
how long he kept Garrett around as coach?
Jesus. What a time to be alive. Yeah, what a time, man. I definitely agree with you, man. He, like I said, he's dangerously loyal, but he also wants a team that he can manipulate. He wants a team that he can control, whether he gets another Super Bowl ring or not. I think that's how Jones looks at it. And that's dangerous for the Cowboys organization when you have an owner that thinks like that. Absolutely.
What'd you think about the big Thursday night football game we had last night? It was at least a better game than what we had the last couple of weeks. A little more action, a lot more points were scored. That killed one of my bets because I took the under in that game because I didn't think there'd be a lot of points scored. They were 1 point away from the going. They were 1 point away from the over at halftime. I was like, "Fuck,
yeah,
this ain't going to hit." But
oh man, hey, I definitely agree. What game were you specifically talking about again?
The Cardinals and the Saints last night.
Oh yeah. Well, D-Hop's back. He got you 99 yards. What a time for him. And then Jesus, Olave had another huge game for the Saints.
I know.
How crazy is that?
I have him on my bench. I had him on my bench this week on one of my fantasy teams too, and he scored pretty good.
Yeah, man. I'd love to have Olave right now as part of my fantasy team. I do want to kind of address real quick, Anthony. I saw he said the Cowboys fans are throwing anybody under the bus, laugh out loud. I don't know if they're throwing anybody under the bus per se, but we see, again, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I'm also an optimistic, or not an optimist, I'm an unbiased person, and I can evaluate my team and know where we're good at, where we're bad at. And I can also evaluate and say, if Dak doesn't come back looking good, that's clearly an issue. So I don't know if it's that we're throwing him under the bus. I just think we're taking a very unbiased approach at looking at them. and making evaluations of them. I think, if anything, he said he picked the Saints. I think a lot of people probably picked the Saints. But, man, what a time to be alive for the Cardinals, man. They got D-Hop involved. It was a high-scoring affair. Not a whole lot of defense, in my opinion, on that game.
No.
Dalton came back. I think he gave you was it 4 touchdowns? And I think he had 2 or 3 interceptions, I believe. Am I correct?
Yep.
So Dalton clearly did not have a good game with the amount of interceptions that he threw. And those 3 turnovers really were favorable for the Cardinals. So I think I don't know what Jameson would have done against that game, but those 3 picks really – I mean, he got 4 touchdowns, but you give away 3 picks. So it's almost like it's a wash for him at that point.
I think Winston will be back their next game because it was almost like a game time decision before they announced who they were going to start. So I think Winston's probably going to be back next week. I actually picked the Cardinals once I heard that Dalton was going to start for the Saints. I picked Cardinals was one of the picks I gave out yesterday on my sports betting show. Of course, I didn't go bet any money on it, so I should have. But the pick I gave out to Cardinals, but just because Dalton was starting, and I did think DeAndre Hopkins was going to give that Cardinals offense a little bit of a boost, being his first game back, and he did. He, like you said, he did. He had 99 yards. But did you see where Kyler Murray was yelling at Cliff Kingsbury? Right before
that really makes me start to think.
Telling him to calm the F down. Well, it was up in his face. I think there's something to that. I know some people are trying. That's just 2 guys being competitive in the moment. Okay, that could be. But then if you listen to the press conferences, I don't know. I think there might be just the way Murray reacted or acted there. It was almost like there might be a little bit of a rift in between them 2.
Oh, there might be. There is a rift between those 2. We just don't know how deep that rift goes, and we don't know what the consequences of that rift are going to be. But what we can speculate is that I think I saw even on ESPN report that, they were saying that Hackett and Kingsbury could be gone next year. So don't be surprised if Kingsbury is not the coach of the Cardinals next year. And I think it's time for him to go. Honestly, he was great at Texas Tech, but I think it might be his time.
He should have never had the job. He got the job because he was friends with Sean McVay. That was back when they were hiring anybody that knew Sean McVay was getting a head coaching job.
Dude, he was coming out of that damn tree.
He got fired from his college job, then took a offensive coordinator job at USC, and then they hired the Arizona Cardinals hire him as an NFL coach right before the season started. So it was like, dude, he just got fired from a college job, and you're giving him a promotion. I don't make a whole hell of a lot of sense.
What a time to be. Let me ask you this. There was one question on that San Francisco game that I meant to ask you, and I didn't get a chance at it. It just popped in my head. I just want to ask you real quick. Elijah Mitchell, we know he's on the IR. Is he done for the season, or is there a possibility of him returning?
I think he might be. I'm pretty sure he's out for the season.
Okay, so he is done for the season. Okay.
So.
Because I was curious, if he wasn't done for the season, how would he change that offense? But now you got McCaffrey and Mitchell and Deeb. I mean, oh my God, that'd be great. But if he's done for the season, then that's really a non-factor. But getting back to Kingsbury, man, if he goes, I could see. I think I would love to see Brian Flores getting another opportunity to be a head coach. I think he loves a running style quarterback, which was why he was wanting to get Watson so bad. And I think Murray obviously clearly fits that bill. And I think Flores could do great things for that Cardinals organization. They have a fairly still talented roster there. They obviously have Marquise Brown, which will be back next year. Then they're going to have Robbie Anderson. Then they're going to have, Green if he doesn't retire. And then they'll have D-Hop. And then they have Connor in the backfield. So there's a lot there to work with. And I think Flores could do an amazing job and really get that Cardinals organization a more legit title shot at a Super Bowl. So I wouldn't be surprised if Flores, if there's some head coaching jobs come available, Denver's probably going to be one. Carolina is going to be one. And then you're going to have most likely the Cardinals be one. And what a time for Flores to come out from the offense, or I think he's defensive coordinator over there, come out from those shadows and try to get one of those spots.
Yeah, I'd like to see Flores. I mean, I could see Flores getting one of them spots. Another guy I'd like to see get another opportunity because the Detroit Lions done him wrong is Jim Caldwell.
Yeah, I just don't know if he's going to come back. Is he?
Yeah,
because wasn't he leaning to staying retired?
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure. But I'm just saying he'd be a good guy for somebody to hire.
Oh no, I agree. What he did with Detroit, and how well he developed them was phenomenal. Again, don't forget Sean Payton. Most likely, with the right organization, will be back next year. So, God, what could Sean Payton do with the Cardinals? Oh, hopefully McCarthy gets on the firing block and my real hope is that Jerry can put his differences aside of trying to be the control freak and bring in a Sean Payton and just let him do what he does best with that organization and the Cowboys, man. Honestly.
Damian said he don't think Hackett should be fired since it's his first time being a head coach. I don't think he's going to make it through the whole season myself.
I think it's a good chance you're right. I think it's a good chance that he's done possibly by the end of the season if the Broncos continue to play.
Honestly, the way they're playing. Some people might think this is a hot take, but I think he might be done after this weekend if the Jets beat the Broncos.
I agree with you, man. Because they really had high hopes for this Broncos team.
And high expectations, and it's not.
Hell, they look better the Broncos were better last year than they are this year. So how bad does it look that they got rid? And I can't remember that guy's name, but when they get rid of the head coach, how bad does that make them look now? They should have just kept the damn head coach and still brought in Russell Wilson, and they'd probably be 10 times better than what they are right now.
Oh, they would be. The only reason Hackett got that job was because they thought if they got Hackett that they would get Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. What a time to be alive. Bring in this youngster right quick. Bring in this youngster. I've been waiting for him. Hey, Mike, I have a question for you, man, because I know you're a very, very intelligent sports podcaster. And I'm nothing. I'm an intern. Okay. Right now I'm just Mike, it's okay. I know what my skill sets are, Mike. I'm just interning. I don't get a paycheck. My wife has all my money. I'm barely functioning. Hell, Blue is eating cordon bleu, and I'm eating dog food over here, Mike. So again, from a very, very minute standpoint, from a very modest standpoint, I just wanted to ask you, hey, who won last night?
Hey, bro. Just to reiterate, I'm broke as fuck too, so I'm out.
You got great hair and you got a great face.
I don't know who's getting paid.
Industry, you're good.
Gonzo, you getting paid?
I ain't getting paid either. I'm just as broke as you guys. I'm probably worse.
I'm eating noodles with nothing on it, Jay. I don't got a lot going on.
Hey, it's funny you said that because I literally, like 20 minutes ago, did have some noodles. That's kind of funny.
I got nothing on them. I can't afford meatballs right now. It's sauce.
You can't even get some Texas Pete down there.
No, there's nothing. I'm choking on a noodle right now. It's rough. It's rough. Answer your question. The Clippers won last night.
Yeah, I figured you'd go that route.
Yeah, it was a good game. I didn't catch baseball.
Oh, now we got Rob too.
Oh, and we got another Chicago guy.
Oh,
hey, watch this. Hey, Rob Scott, let me ask you a question. I know you're a very big time baseball aficionado. I know that's like your second love behind basketball. Can I ask you a question from a guy who probably watches baseball about as much as I watch the NHL? Who won last night?
The Astros.
Oh, that's right. Good answer. Good answer. Hey, what a time to be alive. What a time. I really thought that Mike would have a trash can in this show. The fact that he doesn't tells me that Mike Hughes is slipping. But that's
no. Mike Hughes has a partner now.
Hey, listen, what a time to be alive, man.
You know what it
Hey,
is?
Mike, let me ask you a question, though. I know you are seriously, on a serious note, though, man. Me and Gonzo were talking this morning on the Bases Loaded or Around the Bases podcast that he has. Who do you see in the World Series?
Around the
Honestly,
Bases.
like, legitimately, who do you think makes it to the World Series?
Yes, Lord. I mean, I already told you off rip. I want to see the Phillies. I want to see Bryce Harper finally actually get to be on that stage. He's always been viewed as one of the best to do it. A class act guy, depending on who you ask and depending on the day. But it's something, where my boys, I want to see Schwarber. I want to see Castellanos. And I know I get a lot of Padres fans that say, what about you, Darvish? Fuck you, Darvish. I don't care about you, Darvish. I'll tell you what, Rob Scott, I don't like slandering people, but I made a 15-leg parlay back in April, and I hit on 14 of them, and it was a $5 bet. I would have won $500,000, and you, Darvish, couldn't beat the Reds. I know Gonzo remembers that one. But yeah, so fuck you, Darvish. I hope he stubs his toe on the hardest piece of glass in the room. So
Now, you know what, though? One thing I can say with this FanDuel stuff, it'll make you hate players.
$500,000. All you have to do is beat the worst offense in baseball. Sorry, Chris. But it's worst offense in baseball.
They're like, damn.
You're supposed to be this Cy Young pitcher, and you allow not one run. I was fine with one run. He allowed 11 runs.
That's how I felt about Jordan Poole the other night. Just screwed my ticket all the way up.
Exactly. But also, I want to see.
I don't bet against Adam Wainwright anymore because of that.
Exactly, dude. It'll kill you, bro. Like you gotta go into sports betting emotionless. You can't carry it in, but it's hard not to when you look at these players and you see how much they get paid, and you're like, you fucked me out of money. But in all seriousness, I wanted to see the Yankees. I'm rocking my boy's jersey right now. I want to see Rizzo do his thing. Don't really care for Gleiber too much. Wasn't really a Cub, but whatever. But, man, I told Jay behind the scenes. I told him, and you could pull up the screenshots. I said I think the Astros are going to have the easiest way to really get across the Yankees. And it's not – I want to reiterate it because it's not an excuse. But I think, having the advantage of a fully healthy Astros team because they handled their business. They handled their business and they got out of their series a lot earlier than the Yankees did. Obviously, the rain delay was a part of that. But, there's so much that goes into being able to have Verlander pitch twice potentially. He might not even have to versus, guys who are only going to get Cole and Nestor once. And that's, Jay, if I'm not mistaken, that's game 3 and 4.
Yeah, because Verlander will not pitch on anything more than 4 days of rest. So that literally puts him in game 3, right after the Lance McCullers or Javier. Whoever gets to start Saturday. I don't think there's been a definitive answer on that yet, but he will pitch Sunday.
It'll be game 4.
He'll pitch Sunday, and then Framber Valdez, their second best pitcher, will pitch right after that. So out of the 3 games, you get Valdez and Verlander again.
Games, he said. What the
Stop it. Look, the damn pinky finger don't operate. Calm down.
Nah, but
hey, Rob Scott, can you read that one? That finger works okay.
Nah, but I do agree. I think there's a lot that goes into it, bro. There's a lot that goes into it, and I'm really curious to see how the Yankees can pull out during being in the Bronx the next 3 games. But I think it's going to be a battle, bro. It really is, especially, you're going into this knowing that, and Jay, this isn't a shot. This is just being real. One of your best offensive players in Jose Altuve is over.
Oh, you're not telling me. We've already talked about Altuve.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. You talk about that, though, and you're like, all right, your best player is 0 for 23, 8 strikeouts, and you still have a 2-0 lead. Like this, I saw this kid launch, and he was still out, but he launched a drive out to Stanton the other night.
It was hardcore hit, man. It was ridiculous.
It's one of those hits, though. Even though he was still out, it's kind of like, all right, you're kind of starting to wake up. Just luck hasn't been on his side, but I'm starting to see him make more contact. Before it was just striking out, but now you're starting to see him get more contact, whether it be a line drive or not. Contact is better than nothing. So I think right now Altuve's kind of waking up a little bit. Even one hit is waking up, but if he starts getting going, I mean, it's done.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and the thing about it what's really got the Astros and why they are doing so well is because even though Altuve, yes, he is definitely struggling. He's still there for them defensively, but really that Astros team has so many hitters right now that are producing at the right time. That the other hitters are what's keeping us in the game. Truthfully, hey, I know, right? Hey, but that's really what's keeping us there. But I'll tell you, like I told Gonzo, man, I think the best World Series in terms of being competitive is going to be Astros and Padres, just because both of those teams, you can never count them out. They're scrappy. They have a fight all the way till the 27th out, and those dudes are going to go at it. It's going to be an all-out war if it's the Padres and Astros in the World Series. And don't forget, Mike, I don't got to tell you what Juan Soto and the Nationals did to Houston in that World Series. And you saw just how valuable Juan Soto can be when he goes red hot in the World Series. So I don't want to play the Padres. I really want to play the damn Phillies if we get there, honestly.
Yeah, I think the rotation mix as well, too. When you look at – my bad, I'm eating my noodles. But when you look at it for what it is, I mean, outside of 1 and 2 for the Phillies, it's kind of a question mark from a pitching perspective. You don't know what you're going to get in Noah Syndergaard. You don't know what you're going to get in everybody else, 3 through 5.
Exactly.
And I think when you look at it for what it is, you know, as much as I hate them, you, Darvish, Blake Snell, all these other guys, I mean, they're certified. They've been there before. They've done it before. I will say this, you, Darvish, and the Astros do have a history. So, you know, it might be in their benefit, that might not. But, you know, it's something, you know, he needs to be ready for, and that's something he needs to be aware of, whether you want to talk about a scandal or not. You know, they had his number without a doubt. I mean, without a doubt. And
we were playing Yu Darvish good, even when Yu Darvish was with the Rangers.
Exactly.
When Yu Darvish was with the Rangers, we owned his butt.
And that's what I was alluding to. You know, I was saying a lot of Dodgers fans say, oh, well, this, and that. But at the end of the day, I mean, Yu Darvish was getting owned during that World Series, and that was a big problem. And it wasn't the first time that it had happened for you. So you, in the moment, obviously can't even count them in a regular season game in April to get my ticket punched. But, you know, it's definitely something I'd be concerned about. And Blake Snell, too. Blake Snell doesn't have a ring on his finger. So, I mean, you know, he didn't perform the greatest either in the World Series a couple years ago. And a part of that's because of Cashman, but a part of that's on him as well. So I would definitely rather see the Padres, but the Phillies, that offense is going.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love when we talk baseball, because when we talk baseball, I look to the left at Rob Scott, and that's the same look that I give everybody when they're talking wrestling. I pretty much go into a coma of misunderstanding of everything.
I just say, yeah.
Let's get
Yeah.
let's get Rob and Mike's thoughts on Christian McCaffery getting traded to the 49ers.
Punch my ticket.
I don't think it really makes
all I
a
can say is
difference.
Pearland, baby.
I don't think it really makes a difference, honestly. The 49ers they're not winning the championship, you know. They might win their division as bad as Arizona looks, but then you gotta worry about Seattle. So I mean, Geno Smith looks good. Christian McCaffrey, again, is it gonna be a different team? Same old song? Are we gonna be counting down the days until he gets injured, which I hate to do to players, but unfortunately, I mean, you saw how everybody held their breath yesterday when AD went down. I mean, it gets like that with certain players. So I mean, it's like, I mean, you know, goodness to him that he got out of the damn Panther situation.
Right.
Well, and again, Rob, like even me and Gonzo were saying, him going to the 49ers, that's got to be a good move for him, because I don't think he's going to have to be the guy that has to carry every damn play. He can literally, you know, they can preserve his playing career, I think, by that.
They can, because they're still going to use Debo as that workhorse. And hopefully now with a running back, that could kind of maybe open Kittle's game up a little bit. Because I don't think they've utilized Kittle as often as you would think a tight end of his caliber would be used. So now bringing in a run game where you can take pressure off Debo, you're going to be taking pressure off Christian McCaffrey. Maybe you can now add a little bit of George Kittle to that game, and maybe the 49ers have some. But I'm sorry, I love Jimmy G. I thought he should have got the job over Trey Lance, but you guys, the 49ers are going nowhere fast. I'm just hate to be the bearer of bad news.
I think Madden's gonna be dope. Madden's gonna be dope. I think
Madden will be legit.
Madden will be legit with the 49ers. But I think in all seriousness, Rob kind of hit it on the head. You replaced Elijah Mitchell, who I love. Elijah Mitchell. He's a stud. He's just very injury prone, with one of the best running backs that are known for being injury prone. I mean, besides this year, you're looking at Christian McCaffery, who in the last 3 seasons has played less than 8 games. And that's really what it is. And I think, this is kind of going all in. You give a 2023 second, third, fourth, and I believe fifth or fourth for 2024. But, you gave everything. And I don't.
It was a fifth and 24, but yeah.
Yeah, they don't have a. They don't
got
have
more than Baker got.
They don't have a first round pick either this year, so they're not picking until the 5th round at minimum. So right now you look at the 49ers going all in. Was Christian McCaffrey the guy to go all in for? I think that's the question. There's conversations about trading for Deshaun Watson last year, and a bunch of other guys who potentially were available, Aaron Rodgers, guys like that. I think they would have been better off going that route. Christian McCaffrey, and Rob hit it on the head too, talking about George Kittle. A big part of why they can't utilize him is when you do, the guy gets injured. And there's a lot of guys on this team that get banged up like that. I'm happy for Debo because Debo can finally just be a wide receiver. He doesn't have to literally do everything. So that's exactly what he's been praying for. That's why he wanted his bag, because he said, if y'all are going to make me do all this shit, I might as well be getting paid millions
for it.
Right. So,
and from Carolina's perspective, like me and Gonzo were talking about, second, third, fourth, fifth, no firsts. I really don't think Carolina came away with anything out of that. Maybe some developmental players at best.
I think they came They came out with a lot. I think a lot of people don't take into consideration how important the draft is. You're getting a second and a third round pick from the 49ers, and hey, if they shit the bed, they shit the bed, and those are great picks. But I also believe some of those picks were from the Rams, so they're shitting the bed as we speak. So the picks are pretty solid, and when you're rebuilding a team, it's all about capitalism, and it's all about just getting as much draft capital as possible. And I think the thing about that is you can have all the picks in the world, but you have to do something with them, and you have to actually scout well. So I think if they believe they have the correct personnel to find a Justin Jefferson in the 2nd round, or they find somebody else along those lines while tanking on their own, they got their own picks too. You got to take that into account. Like, they're going to be top end picks. They're going to be horrible. And you look at Bryce, you look at CJ Hooker and all these other quarterbacks that are available. You still got DJ Moore. And I don't think DJ Moore gets moved just because Rob Scott knows just as well as I do. Justin Fields is in a situation right now where he's wishing he had a guy like DJ Moore. So I don't think they're going to do that, because they're going to draft a quarterback next year. Probably move on from Sam Darnold. Baker will be a free agent. And, they got a lot of draft picks, man. And it might be they still got Burns. They still got some decent offensive linemen. They still got J.C. Horn. They got some guys that I think, you really could look at and be like, these guys are pretty decent. These guys are solid. You just kind of got to get a better understanding of like what direction they want to go. Because it also is one of those things, and Gonzo and I talked about it. This is my last point. Christian McCaffrey gets $1 million this year. That's his salary cap. Next year, he gets $16 million. That's why the Phillies weren't in on him, or not the Phillies. That's why the Eagles weren't in on him. That's why the Bills weren't in on him. That's why a lot of teams weren't in on him, because that's a lot of money for the next 4 or 5 years. So when you look at it, they're taking away $16 million a year. They got rid of Robbie Anderson, which God bless, because Robbie Anderson is shit. They got a pick for him as well. You're looking at Robbie Anderson, that frees up about $8-9 million. So they got a lot of money in free agency to play with. They got a lot of draft picks. Honestly, I think they're in a better situation than the fucking Bears right now. So I'm happy.
Oh, they are. I agree. And also, DJ Moore is not going anywhere. They've already come out and said that DJ Moore is not going anywhere. He's actually going to be the foundational piece that they're going to build this team off of. So yeah, DJ's
he's going to be the trinket. He's going to be the thing that's holding everybody over here. Like, hey guys, we still have a DJ Moore over here, because we've heard it all year. DJ Moore is too good of a receiver to have the numbers that he has, and that's just a credit to that offensive scheme that they've been setting up over there in Carolina. But to Mike's point, what do you want on a team that's rebuilding? You want draft capital. You need.
I thought they could maybe got at least one first rounder.
I think at this point you kind of just take what you can from McCaffrey.
Right.
Then they get like 3 or 4 picks out of that. So
they get a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth, all in different drafts.
If you
3 of them are next year.
Yeah. So
Or 3 of them are next year?
3 of them are next year.
And
Second,
then
So
third.
the 2024 was the 5th. Okay, I got you.
Now you thinking now, like, well, not only do I have the draft capital, but I also have trade capital.
Right.
I can use those draft picks to trade for somebody if we get somebody great at the draft. So, and hey, let's be real. Tom Brady was a what? 6th-round draft pick.
Oh yeah. And the Panthers didn't have no draft picks at all because they got rid of them to get Baker. So I understand why they done it. I just thought maybe if they held out a little bit longer, they might have been able to get at least one first rounder. But I understand why they done the trade. It makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, because you look at it, you try to hold out, and then McCaffrey goes down.
Exactly. And I think it's also a conversation. One, you're not getting a first round pick for a guy who played less than 8 games in 3 years. And even though he's doing a great season, you got to take that into consideration, plus the money that he's going to be getting next year and the year after that. But the big one for me is, and I think it's always about quality or quantity over quality. And that's one of the times where it's a different conversation. I think in the NFL, you want quality. You always want quality. But when it comes to draft picks, you want quantity. I mean, you look at guys in the 2nd round, 3rd round, CeeDee Lambs, the Justin Jeffersons, the guys like that, George Kittles, the Travis Kelce's, like they come later in the draft. And you also look at guys like CMC, guys like Breece Hall, guys like Najee, they fall. A lot of these guys fall where they are. And I think that's something right now, are you willing to get one first round pick that, let's say, Rob Scott, sake of argument, let's say that the 49ers win a championship, right? And you just got one first round pick for Christian McCaffery. The problem with that is that pick is going to be what, 31, 32, something along those lines. And then versus you having 35, 49, 62. And you could potentially get 3 stars versus 1. And that's something for me is, when you're rebuilding, give me the most you can. And I think that's something right now. Like, I don't want it just one guy, unless it's the number 1 pick, whatever. But it's on a championship caliber team like San Francisco, which whether you think they're a championship caliber team or not, I'll give them their flowers. They go to the show. They just don't win the show. But it's something, I think I'd rather have more picks than just one.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't just saying just a first round pick, but yeah, I would want more pick than one. But I was saying try to get one of them picks to be a first rounder and then like a 2nd rounder or a 3rd.
I do think
you look at the NFL though, historically, some of the greatest players you have come later in the drafts.
Oh yeah.
Right. And I think, one thing though, I did hear DJ Moore is not untouchable. It just would have to be one of the greatest offers they've heard. And I think one of them, for me personally, and I know it's my guy, Rob Scott, I know Greg loves him too. Red Kingdom, they do their thing on the ASAP network. So giving them their flowers real quick. But I think the Chiefs could definitely make a run for DJ Moore. I think if I'm the Chiefs, I even give a first, because I'll be damned if I go into the playoffs with MVS and fucking Juju as my wide receiver one. Like,
that's dependent, because now Kansas City and Buffalo comes at the top 2 teams to land Odell.
Exactly.
So now
do you
thinking, I'm not saying that I put all my stock into that, but if I have a chance to get Odell and I already have a Travis Kelce,
right,
and I do have suitable number 2, number 3 receivers,
right,
I'm not so quick to jump at.
I'm not either.
Von Miller is politicking trying to get Odell to go to.
Exactly.
But you see the difference though with Buffalo. He goes to Buffalo, he's number 3.
I think that's better.
He goes to Kansas, he's number 2.
But how did they win that Super Bowl? He was number 2. And I think that's one of the biggest things everybody's looking at right now. When it is what it is, Rob, like, as much as I want to say Odell's going to come back and he's going to be this number 1 option and he's going to help whoever he goes to go to the Super Bowl, I think there's a conversation, tearing the same ACL in less than a year span twice. It's something, right now, I think I'd rather be with Gabe Davis. I'd rather be with Dawson Knox, Josh Allen, and then you look at, obviously, Stephon Diggs, rather than, they're just going to double the guy if you go to Kansas.
Yeah, they'll use him like Tampa Bay used Antonio Brown. Come in there, give us a couple of key grabs, take some of the pressure off of Gabe or some of the pressure off of Stephon, and now you got, a hellified team. It's crazy. And by the way, Carolina, they got all these picks. Then to your point, Mike, you're going to take as many as you can because Do you really think Carolina's scouting department is the best in slice?
Not at all. I think they're subpar at best. Like I mean, they've had a lot of Gonzo and I talked about it the one day. They've had a lot of great picks in the last recent years, and they're drafting fucking J.C. Horn and all these. I mean, let's be real. They could have had a Justin Fields. They could have had a Mac Jones. They could have had all these guys, and they went corner even though they had Gilmore. So I mean, there's
I don't make no sense.
There's so many different ways we can look at this. I mean, they don't have a great. I'm not going to say they don't have great scouts because Horn is great. I think all these guys they draft are good. I think they just go about it the wrong order. They never address the topics that they should be addressing. They never address, what kind of offense they want to run. And a big part of that's on Matt. I don't think Matt even knows what he wants to do with all these guys, and that's why he's gone. But, Matt Rule is something of himself. But it's something I think, they really need to kind of look at themselves in the mirror and say, you can't just rebuild and fire the coach. I think we need to figure out from a GM standpoint where they want to go.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And I think some of that too is, when you're in the first round, I mean, unless you're just completely off the mark, you should be able to get a good player no matter what the first. Yeah. I think that scouting department really comes big time, like you said, in that second, third, and fourth round where you're trying to find out, that hidden gem or whatever, that's out there, that Tom Brady or what have you. So that's really where that scouting department really comes in handy, especially when you got the second, third, fourth, and fifth pick. That's where they're going to come in handy. And I just don't know if Carolina has that to make the right decision when you get into those later rounds where, the athletes aren't quite as obvious at the beginning and that maybe you're going to have to put some development into.
100%. DJ Moore to the Packers. Goodbye.
The Packers need a receiver, but they're not going to do it.
I heard they're interested in Claypool, which made me laugh. Okay.
Really? Claypool?
Yeah, go for it. Be my guest, bro.
If you think Claypool is your answer, you shouldn't be a GM.
Yeah, I mean, go for it, bro. Like, I don't know what to say.
Mike, what do you think about Murray yelling at Kingsbury last night to calm the F down?
Oh, man, I think, there's levels to it. I think listen, I don't like Kingsbury. I don't at all.
I don't either.
I don't think he's good at what he does. I also think Kyler's been shitting the bed too. And I know that because I have him on fantasy. I mean, he's thrown one touchdown in the last 2 games. I mean, and it was a late touchdown at that. And, it's something right now. Kyler got paid. So don't tell me to calm the fuck down. You need to start balling out and acting like the little midget boy that you are. Like, I need you to start balling. And I'll say that I don't care. Like, Kyler wants to sit here and bitch about, I don't want to watch film. I don't want to have that in my contract. It's embarrassing. And then you have performances like you have this season. And it's one of those things where it's like, bro, like, you need to start balling out and playing like a Justin Herbert, playing like a Josh Allen, playing like a Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers, something along those lines. Because D-Hop is back. And I want to see that connection going crazy. And I get Hollywood's out, so that's a part of it. But, there's so many things right now I feel like just Kyler makes excuses for. And I'm tired of seeing it. I'm really tired of seeing it. But Cliff is a fucking idiot too. So, I mean, it's all a mess in Arizona right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought there was something going on there when they put that in his contract and that came public and everything. Right. And then now I think it's just stuff that's piling on each other.
Gonzo, do you know who scored more touchdowns last night? The Arizona defense or Kyler Murray?
Arizona's defense, I believe.
Yeah, that's fucking sad, bro. That's sad. Like, I don't know. What the fuck is that? Like, what?
Oh, my son's a big Cardinals fan. He's pissed. He's been wanting Kingsbury gone for a long time.
Yeah, it's awful, bro. The whole thing is awful.
I thought D-Hop had a pretty good game. He got 99 yards. He almost broke.
D-Hop had a day. D-Hop had a day for sure. He had a couple of drops, but I mean, it's his first game back, so that'll digress. That'll go down a little bit. But Kyler's got to show up, bro. I just feel like personally, I think the talent's there. And I call him, I make fun of his height all the time, but it's something I think that dog in him just isn't there for Kyler. I don't see him wanting to win games.
There's times he looks disinterested in it, like you don't even want to be there.
100%. Like, you see all these jokes about him, being horrible during Call of Duty half off months or whatever the hell it may be because he plays video games all day long. And that's not something, even if it's a joke, like, that's not something you want tied next to your QB1. And that's like, it's awful.
Maybe it's time for Kyler to go talk to the A's and take up that contract.
Oh, I bet so.
I never thought he would sign another contract. I figured he was going to play one contract in the NFL and then go over to baseball.
Mm-hmm. Me and
Talking
John
about
talked
Kyler
about
Murray?
that during the lockout. He was like, "What's
Yeah.
gonna save baseball?" I was like, "Kyler fucking Murray. Kyler Murray's gonna save baseball."
Well, he need to do something because right now he ain't playing good at quarterback.
No.
No, sir, he's not.
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
Oh
Mm-mm.
God.
Hey, Damian, be quiet.
You know he's gonna troll.
They're not even the same player at all. But
Yeah.
let's talk a little bit of NBA.
Oh, now you got my interest.
Clippers beat the Lakers last night.
Yes, sir.
What else is new?
First time for Kawhi being on the floor for what, a year and a half or so.
And
465
they saying he's still not doing good. I mean, the guy came in the second quarter yesterday. That was his first time coming in the game. He did play 8 minutes in the fourth, but like for somebody that's been out for so long and you're still managing his knee, it's almost like the Lonzo situation.
Oh, it's definitely
You know, it's like you've been gone for so long, dude, and you're still having problems. It's it's kind of hard to invest in that team, and that's
You know why it's different though than the Lonzo shit? Because now the difference between him and the Lonzo stuff is Lonzo is having surgeries to fix the situation. Kawhi is fine. Kawhi does not need another surgery to repair anything. Kawhi can run. Kawhi can jump. Kawhi can do everything he's supposed to do. He's just bitching. I don't care. There's no other way to say it. He did it before the ACL. He did it after the ACL to a higher extent. It's not the first time we've seen Kawhi doing this, where doctors will say, yo, medically, you're fine. Like there's nothing. Like the thing with Lonzo is, okay, there is a debris, there is this, there is that. We messed up. There was an infection, whatever it may be. It's perfectly fine. We can fix it. With Kawhi, it's like, bro, we don't know what else to tell you. We fixed what was done. It's fixed. It's managed. You're better. How do you feel? Nah, I don't feel great. And he does that stupid laugh. And I'm like, well, what are we talking about, bro?
I mean, they look good. I mean, if you asking,
they look nice.
The Clippers look nice. Now, even though I will have to admit, the Lakers could have won that game yesterday. They could have easily won and had
definitely
one of the point guards decide that they remember how to shoot the ball. I mean,
thank
you, Russell Westbrook, for messing up my ticket.
And I'm not a Russ defender, and I'm not a Russ hater.
He played some great defense last night.
He had 5 steals. He had 1 turnover, a +5 to end the game. I mean, he didn't play offense, but he's definitely found his role if he continues this to be just a great defensive presence. I mean, last year he was getting shot up on 60% of the time and something like that. But it's something, we need to look at and understand that, he came in and he locked in. He locked in for sure. And is that going to be consistent? I don't know if he's going to get 5 steals a game, but it's something right now. I mean, I'm happy he did something. You know what I mean? But
yeah.
What did we talk about earlier, Gonzo? It was from the field goal, 0 for 11 for Russ, 0 for 7 for Patrick Beverly, and 1 for 7 for Kendrick Nunn. Rob, our Chicago boy is looking pretty awful right now.
Hey, question. Is it a bad thing that Kawhi Leonard is happy coming off the bench? I mean, is it now time to maybe we start looking at Kawhi Leonard as not being great anymore, and he's just kind of starting to fade out?
I would smack the shit out of Kawhi Leonard if I was the GM.
Lord Jesus. No, I would say this about Kawhi. I think Kawhi is content. Kawhi has his championships. Kawhi has his money. And I honestly think Kawhi is out there now just to obligate his contract.
Yeah.
But he doesn't really care about the game of basketball anymore. I don't think he cares. I mean, to me, he doesn't even have that look of urgency on his face.
Doesn't have anything on his face.
Like to realize, like this is the opportunity. Like it's not going to get any better than this. Denver didn't look good on his first game, even though it was just his first game. They didn't look good with Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. back in the lineup. Dallas loses to Phoenix in the fourth quarter. I mean, we still question how good Phoenix can be. The Grizzlies look great, but they're still a young team, and we know that come playoff time, that can come back to hurt them. Right now, this is as good as a chance as you see for the Clippers to capitalize and make a statement to say the West goes through us. And to me, I just don't get that from this team. I see more excitement from John Wall than I see from Kawhi.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Actually, Wall didn't play too bad last night.
Wall looked good.
Either.
Wall looked good. I mean, let's remember, it wasn't injury that kept Wall out. It was management that kept Wall out.
Right.
Like, let's sit you down
it was
till we
the fact that the
figure
team
out.
was going in a different direction.
Yeah, they said let's sit you down till we figure out where to send you, because it'll be just
and nobody
our luck.
wanted to pay that money for Wall.
Look, Jay, it'll be just our luck that you get hurt while we trying to deal you off. So go ahead, sit down right here next to Coach.
Yep.
And with the Lakers, I think the Lakers are going to be lucky to make the play-in.
Man, Lakers are going to be lucky if they're going to be lucky to just not get
they haven't looked good.
I'll tell you what, the only way, and I said this on record, and I don't care if I'm wrong, like the only way that the Lakers make a top 5 seed in this West is if AD has an MVP year. And that is the only, like a Joel Embiid, Jokic type year. That is the only way. He needs to start being that dude, and I don't see that happening, first of all. And I don't see him playing center consistently, second of all. AD has to be that dude that you got rid of Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and all these picks for. Like, you traded the whole franchise. And you got your little bubble ring, that's fine. No problem not discrediting the bubble. It is what it is. But it's definitely something right now where it's like, are you satisfied with that? Just that one ring where KD was out, where Kyrie was out, where, you faced off against Tyler Hero and an exhausted Jimmy Butler. And it's like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? So I think there's so much.
I'll tell you what we're talking about. We're talking about the fact that none of us cares if the Lakers ever get another damn ring again. I'm perfectly happy with the way the situation is. Let those fuckers rock. Let those fuckers rock. Long live the Clippers, the new LA Majesty.
I know it's only 2 games in, but from the games I've watched, I still think the Warriors are the favorites right now.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I think the Warriors.
Oh, man.
They're better than they were last year.
The Warriors this year would bust the ass of the Warriors last year. Like Wiseman and Rob Scott and I talked about it all last year. Wiseman looks nice. Wiseman looks good. And if he can continue to just stay healthy, they can do whatever they want to do, bro.
And I like how they're easing him back into the rotation rather than putting him right to starter. Kind of let Looney until he gets up to speed. Wiseman will be in there. Yeah, he'll be eventually the starter.
I'm just saying, Steph Curry. I don't know how many times we can sing this man praises on how great he is, but I could try to think of a way to do it. I mean, Steph Curry, spectacular. Wait, no, Steph-tacular. Sterific. I mean, stupendous. I mean, this dude is just, how do you have such a bad shooting game and still end up pretty good from the field? I mean, it's not fair to be able to shoot the way he does, but I don't want people to just classify Steph as just a shooter. This dude is a great player. Like, God, I wish we had him on the Chicago Bulls.
I don't.
I would love to see Steph and Debo go at it.
I'm good. I don't want to ruin Steph Curry. Stay over there, bro. Don't come over here, bro. That's what I said earlier. I don't like my favorite players.
It's interesting though, because Rob is a Bulls fan, and him and Mike got the new show now, Bulls Sheet. I'm really just surprised with Rob that it's not called Bulls and Steph.
We got that show coming out soon too.
I'm telling you, boy. I'm just gonna have a podcast that say Steph.
Just to say Steph.
No, but you know what though? You know what it is, dude. I just respect greatness. Like, like I said, how Kobe was my favorite player, dude. It's just something about these dudes, man, that just motivate you. That's how I look at my favorite players. When you see the work that these guys putting in, and you start to see that work go into fruition, you know what I'm saying? Might not have the greatest starts in the season, might not even have a great season, but you see the consistency, you see the habits, you see the winning mentality. That's what I respect out these players, man. And you look at Steph, they call him a babyface assassin because you don't see it coming from this dude. You look at this dude like, oh, this dude is barely 6'3". He's skinny, he's little, he got bad ankles, and then he come out there and give you 50, bro. And there's nothing you can do about it. Do you know how harmful or how helpless you feel as a player that you know who's going to get the game-winning shot? You know who's going to have the ball in their hand. Like, everybody knows who's going to have the ball in their hand. And it ain't nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it.
I will say, too, my boy went crazy. Rob Scott's favorite player is Steph Curry minus Klay Thompson. I think that's why we're good friends. But Klay had a great game. Clay had 18 points. He played really well defensively. I think, everybody was riding Clay out, saying Jordan Poole is the next, big thing, and they're going to ride Clay out of town. But I think it's one of those things where all three of them are going to coexist this year. And I think if Clay goes back to who he used to be, or even a part of who he used to be, there's going to be a problem. I want to see all three of those boys in the 3-point shooting competition.
Yeah, man. But you know what, though? And not to get too far from my Bulls, though, man. DeMar look good still, too.
DeMar look great.
I want to tell you how something, man. DeMar the chosen, man. I mean, what is he now? Should we just say king of the second half? Because the boy went berserk in the third.
The fourth quarter. So.
I know he king of the fourth.
Your Bulls killed me the other night on my pick. I picked them to win opening night.
The Bulls won opening night.
Yeah, the Bulls won.
No, I didn't pick him because I messed up. I didn't pick him because
you thought Miami was going. You know what though? I knew Miami.
I was going to pick him, but then when I saw Levine was out, I was like, oh no, I'm not going to pick him.
Well, you know what? You know why I picked the Bulls? Because I know Miami had our number all last year. But what made me pick the Bulls this year is the fact that I know now, after watching Miami for a full year, Kyle Lowry is not the Kyle Lowry of old. And people used to sleep on Kyle Lowry. Call him when Kyle Lowry was in his prime, Kyle Lowry was a dog.
Mm-hmm. He was the dude how long Kyle Lowry been around. Kyle Lowry been around a hot minute.
Yeah. So he was a dog.
In his Houston Rockets days.
Yeah, so and he's gotten older, and there's nothing you can do about that. And I knew, as far as Miami Heat goes, if you're able to keep Jimmy at bay, where are they going to get scoring from? Because they no longer have the team that they had last year. Dragic is gone now.
Right.
I don't really trust in Bam. Bam is
Tyler Hero look good though.
Tyler Hero's a dog, bro. He's a dog, bro. I call him
Bulls tonight against the Wizards. I picked the Bulls tonight.
You know what? Tyler Hero reminds me of Christian Bale when he played in American Psycho. Like, he gonna be hitting threes on people because they business card look better than his. Tyler Hero, man, he went out there and went crazy. I'm like, he's the best player on Miami right now. We know what Jimmy can do, but man, Tyler is a dog. But I just got to give a shout out to the Bulls, man. I think the Bulls are going to be better. I think once they get Levine back, once we figure out what's going on with Lonzo, it's going to be a different story. And the East is wide open, man, because the Nets don't look good at all.
And you know who also look good? The freaking 76ers.
Yeah, they don't look good.
They look bad, but damn.
Yeah,
they don't look good.
Are disappointing.
Joel Embiid is disappointing me.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you made all of this fuss and commotion last year about not being in the MVP discussion. You were mad because they was going to give it to Nikola Jokic.
I guess there's a reason, huh?
But you would expect, when you get something like that with the type of caliber of player that he is, you would expect him to come out this season and say, I'm not gonna leave it up to any doubters that I am the definitive MVP of this league. And I've just been looking at him play. He looks so disinterested. He looks like
he does. He does.
It's just bad. Like, James Harden even came to life yesterday.
Yeah.
What a time! What a time to be alive.
Westside Media says, "Where do y'all think Draymond ends up? Lakers or Sixers?"
I don't know. And the reason I say that is because
ain't no team gonna give more money. I don't
know how successful Draymond is gonna be without the Warriors.
Yep.
I don't like with the Warriors. He's almost made a case for him to be in the Hall of Fame with the Warriors.
But you gotta admit, though, last year in the championship run, you could, in my opinion, it was the Warriors carrying Draymond. He wasn't really contributing like he should have been contributing.
Jay, I get that, but I'm gonna also say this: if Draymond's not on that team, the Warriors don't make it to the finals.
You think so?
They don't make it to the finals. They don't. Not without Draymond not being on that team. And Clay still trying to find his legs. Like I always say, even if Draymond is not scoring, even if his defense isn't the same as it used to be because he's getting older, statistically speaking, Steph plays better when Draymond is on the court. And if your best player elevates his play because another player is on the court, I'm not so quick to get rid of that dude. And I think what the Warriors are doing right now, and a lot of people haven't even mentioned this, I don't think they're trying to get rid of Dre. I think they kind of paid Poole and Wiggins to show Draymond, look, they deserve this money, okay? And we want to
But
get
they
you
are
paid.
kind of saying that we're kind of getting rid of you
we
because
want
they're
to
not going
get
to have
you.
money to pay him.
But I'm saying they want to get Draymond paid too, but they gonna let Draymond know.
They're not going to let you think they're going to pay Draymond?
No, they gonna let Draymond look at the market and he gonna realize ain't nobody gonna pay him that money. Nobody.
I think he's going to end up taking a pay cut and staying with the Warriors.
Yes, because why take a pay cut and go somewhere else
Yep.
when I could take a pay cut and stay a winner?
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
And that's what they're doing. They paid Poole and Wiggins, so they didn't leave. I love the fact that they're being transparent with Draymond. They're like, look, dude, these dudes deserve this money, and we're gonna pay these guys. And you know what? If you feel that the Lakers, if you feel the 76ers, if you feel Houston, Orlando, if you feel Washington, if you feel one of these organizations are gonna pay you more than what we're offering you, by all means, go look. And we'll be right here when you come back. Because guess what, Draymond? You ain't worth that.
Better time to be alive.
Already said they should just trade Draymond to the Lakers so he can be.
Oh, that's really gonna be bad. Because Draymond needs shooters and so do LeBron. What they gonna do with each other?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Y'all be. I love our fans. Thank y'all for y'all support. But y'all got to get out of this 2K mindset. Y'all have a video game mindset. This is the real world. Draymond don't play great with LeBron, and LeBron definitely ain't gonna play great with Draymond. What is Draymond gonna do for LeBron?
Yeah.
It
Why
goes
LeBron
back to
need
what
his
you said
screen?
earlier,
Run
the
through
fact
everybody.
that Draymond he's a niche player at this point in his life, and his niche is with the Warriors, like you said, because of what he does for Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So he goes to the Lakers, and he's basically going to be washed out. And I don't think he lasts that long with the Lakers. I think he'll be
I
done.
don't even think he gets any tick like that, dude. Like, what do you do? Draymond is not a scorer on the inside. He's not a guy you can hand to in the post.
He's a facilitator. And
He's a facilitator for shooters. What is Draymond's famous move? The pick and roll.
Yeah.
He gets the ball. Curry
and talking a whole lot of crap to other players.
That's it.
What a time.
I don't even think Draymond wants to be with LeBron. Him and LeBron are great friends because of the business ventures that they have with Uninterrupted.
Yeah.
They're business partners, which, when you making money with people, you can become the greatest of friends because we all making this money together. But when it comes to the basketball, you ask LeBron James right now, you want him to get rid of Draymond. He'll tell you he'll keep Westbrook.
I was going to say, that'd be a worse move than bringing Westbrook in was.
Oh, now I can see Draymond going to Brooklyn, but I don't think KD is going to be staying in Brooklyn for too long. KD might be trying to get back to the Warriors. Quiet and kept. Now, I don't see how that can happen now that Wiggins got his money, but I'm just saying. We see what happened when you leave winners. You don't win anymore.
If you look at that Warriors team, man, they've been playing 10 or 11. I mean, they're 10, 11 deep.
Dude, it's like people were talking about how deep the Clippers are.
Like Kuminga,
I'm like, look how
good.
deep the Warriors are.
Yeah, but Moody's barely getting any playing time, and Moody's not a bad player. That shows you how good they are. Kuminga look good. Look like he's improved. It's going to be
at all.
Hey, real quick, I don't know if y'all saw this or not, and I don't mean to go to left, right, up and down, but have you seen that the daughters of Jason Williams are pissed off and are denouncing St. John's if they put their father into the Hall of Fame there?
You talking about white chocolate?
No, I'm talking about the other Jason Williams, Jayson Williams. His daughters of former NBA All-Star Jason Williams have denounced St. John's for its decision to induct their father into the school's Athletics Hall of Fame because of the accusations of neglect in their lives following his role in the 2002 fatal shooting of the limousine driver, Christoph Christie, I think it was his name, the chauffeur, Costas Christofi.
Mm-hmm.
Remember back when his limousine driver got shot?
Yeah.
It's been a hot minute because it's been like a while back.
No, I remember because I was like in 8th grade when that happened, but
I just thought it was interesting that his daughters are like basically saying if you put her father into the Hall of Fame, I mean, talk about, you can tell it gives you a good idea of what his daughters think about their dad. What a
I
time.
mean, I mean, they say neglect, but the man was in jail, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, he went to jail for a hot minute over that.
You know what I'm saying? So how you? I mean, you can't neglect. By law, I have to spend time in this place.
Man, wow.
I got that West Side. Jason already explained that to me. I appreciate you guys, though.
And Westside did make a point. We haven't even seen Patrick Bryant yet with the Warriors.
I forgot all about they had him.
Said they're deep, man. It's going to be
deep.
crazy.
And people keep talking about Wiseman. I'm still talking about Kuminga.
Yep,
Kuminga gonna be
Kuminga.
Kuminga.
What the hell we care about Kuminga? We don't care about no damn Kuminga.
Kuminga's gonna be a good player. He's gonna be a good player.
Kuminga gonna be one of them dudes. Mark my words.
I don't mean to look at you at an angle, but I'm looking at you at an angle.
He could be, dude. Honestly, he could end up being their sixth man.
I mean, he
like
could.
Kuminga.
I'm not gonna say he can't, but I'm not thinking Kuminga right now. I'm just thinking about how Wiseman says he really takes over that start job ahead of Looney and what he's going to do for this Golden State franchise.
Are you quick to put Wiseman back as a starter? I mean, I like Looney as a starter.
I'm quick to put him there because you know why? They've been paying him for a hot minute. It's time to see some plays.
But
Let's go.
They paying him a rookie contract though.
That's right. So put his ass out there. Let's go. Start making your money.
You'll be okay. You'll be all right.
How long do you want them to ride the bench? Forever?
No, but what I'm saying is right now with the way that the Warriors are built, I like him.
No. What I'm saying is you want me to put a horse out there that's a Clydesdale, and I'm trying to throw my damn thoroughbred out there.
That was a great horse reference.
Who you think's
You're trying to pull the Budweiser cart, and I'm trying to win the race. What the hell are we talking about, man?
Who you think comes out of the East?
Oh, fuck.
What teams will cut your right East?
What else can prove them wrong?
The Celtics have looked better than I thought they were opening night.
Do. The Celtics look real good.
They look good.
Celtics.
I mean, honestly, way to adjust to a situation where you have to switch coaches, philosophies, and everything, and you come out and put a performance over the Sixers, man. I mean, I'm just saying, what a way to start it off.
You know what though? I'm probably gonna agree with Jay in this situation. I still think Milwaukee is the team to beat in the East.
If they get
is Middleton back yet?
He will be back.
I'm not putting anything on Milwaukee until I see Middleton back and on the
Middleton and Connaughton was out last night and they still won.
Yeah.
Oh no, I understand that. I'm just saying
in the playoffs they have to have Middleton. If they don't have
in the playoffs, they have to have Pat too. They gotta have Pat.
Oh, no, I understand.
Yeah,
yeah, I don't disagree with that at all.
But you know what though? I have to say right now, and I know it's just early, but Boston, Chicago, and Milwaukee look like the top teams in the East.
You said who now?
Chicago, Boston, and Milwaukee.
Oh, we always talking about Chicago.
Because Chicago.
No. Why are we talking about Chicago?
Hey.
I'm not trying to denounce DeRozan. We know how good DeRozan is. No doubt about it.
It's the chosen.
Your boy Lonzo Ball sitting up there in the hospital for years. I mean, come on.
Okay, and you saw what Caruso gonna do.
Caruso.
Really?
What would be your third team in the? What would be your third team in the East right now?
God, right now, I'm looking at probably.
I'm looking at Chicago.
I could give Boston probably third in the East.
He's looking at Chicago too.
I definitely think it's going to be Boston, Milwaukee. I don't know, man. Miami. I think I can see Miami. I think Miami and Chicago for me would be tied for the third spot in the East.
See, put some respect on our name, Jay. Don't you feel so much better now? I'm gonna tell you this though, them Pelicans look scary.
Hey, let me tell you something. Right now, let me give you a metaphor here. Lonzo Ball's basketball career is in hospice right now. Okay, there's a nurse right now assisting him in his jump shot or his need to get better.
Dude,
come on.
Hey, Embiid has to start playing better. He ain't look great.
Embiid is playing like a certain word that we ain't allowed to say. And I don't like to call other grown men that word, but he needs to stop playing like that.
Yeah, I agree. But, hey, what about Doncic for a minute? Can we just say how good Doncic's playing? I mean, I know they didn't get the win, but still, Doncic is just – he's picking right back up.
He's in shape. He's in shape too, man.
When we mention his name, you say Luka Magic.
Yeah, I'll definitely say Luka Magic.
Oh,
yeah, you gotta put some respect on Luka. That ain't no doubt about. Now I'm not putting Brooklyn at third.
Marty, you a hater.
He said, "Bam,
don't be a
Chicago,
hater.
The team that could be playing."
Last year, you right. It's a new year, baby. It's a new year. I bet your team don't want to see my team.
I'll tell you what.
He got Chicago just above the Pacers.
The Pacers didn't look terrible. Pacers actually look decent for a young team.
Gonzo. Nobody cares about the Pacers. Nobody cares. Watch this. Hey, don't feel bad, Gonzo. Watch this. If I said the Western Conference and I said the Rockets, they would look at me sideways too. Like, we don't care about the fucking Rockets.
Nobody care about the Rockets. At least you got baseball, Jay.
Listen, and by all means, I mean, hey, Rockets still got some work to do, man. We got a lot of chemistry to build.
Hey, Jay, at least you got the Astros.
Man, listen, damn it. Hey, and my Cowboys aren't looking too bad. I mean, we're doing all right. Hey, we're doing all right. But I will say this.
Go to state your team. Okay, Marty, I can see.
Hey, listen, when we played Atlanta the other night, we outscored them in the paint. And we out rebounded Atlanta. But I'll tell you what the Rockets' problem is at this point, at least off of game one. Now, of course, we don't know what the season. But no, hey, off of game one, I will tell you, our problem was we need to shoot the ball a little bit better. They got us in field goal percentage, and they got us because we had 16 turnovers. So the Rockets have got to stop turning the damn ball over, and they got to get a little bit better on their field goal percentage. And I think we're gonna start to climb back in it.
Oh, look, we done started something in the comments. Listen, Damien, I love the Chicago Bulls, okay? I don't want them to see the Warriors. I don't want them to see the Warriors.
I love that the comment section's been going off today. It's
awesome. They turned up in the comments, right?
Man, listen. Hey, listen, Damien will turn up some comments just about all the crap he says. I mean, I'll give you that. He's a little pot stirred, Damien. He said Golden State's not that good. He said Golden State will dog Chicago. You tripping?
hey, I'm gonna tell you like this. I love the Bulls, right? And I want the Bulls to win. And then they be like, the Bulls playing Golden State, and I'm be like,
yep.
Hey, real quick, can we talk a little college football? Is it enough to talk a little college
football?
Yeah,
we do
got that coming up tomorrow, by the way. And there's a lot of extremely important games come tomorrow. I don't know if you guys understand this or realize this, but Texas started out unranked. Then they got ranked. Now they went back to unranked. Now they're ranked again at 20. They have a chance to go from being unranked to possibly being within the top 10 before the season is over with. And I'll tell you how they're going to do it. Right now they're 20. And they're going against Oklahoma State over the weekend. Oklahoma State's ranked 11. If Texas beats Oklahoma State, which I thoroughly believe they can with yours, that will put them within at least 12, maybe 13. And then if they beat TCU and TCU remains unbeaten when they play them, well, hell, TCU's ranked number 8. So if they beat a TCU at 8, that puts them in probably number 9. Maybe 9 or number 8 before the season's out. That's not a bad thing to go from unranked to number 9. That's how important Oklahoma State is to Texas, and TCU is with the team that they're playing. I forget who TCU is playing right off the top of my head, but there's a lot of really good games going on this week. Matter of fact, Alabama has Mississippi State. And Mississippi State beat A&M.
TCU's playing number 17 Kansas State.
That's right, Kansas State. That's right. I remember. Okay, man, they should win that game. No issues. I don't see them losing that game at all.
But there is some good games because you have the TCU Kansas State game. You have Mississippi State against Alabama. Like you said, Mississippi State's 24, Alabama's 6. Number 5 UCLA's at number 10 Oregon.
Yeah.
Then 20 Texas at 11 Oklahoma State. So there is pretty good matchups. Number 14 Syracuse against number 5
That's
Clemson.
the one I was going to say. I believe it or not, and Gonzo, I'll pick your brain on this, but I believe that's an upset in the making. I think Syracuse has the opportunity to upset 5 Clemson and really shake up that rankings.
I took Syracuse plus the 14.5 points. Is one of my picks.
I think Syracuse, beats Clemson, and I have a good feeling. Obviously, I think UCLA will go past Oregon. So, man, what a time to be alive! There's going to be some really good games. I really want. Oh God, I would give anything in life, anything if Mississippi State could just beat Bama.
It won't happen.
I would give anything for Mississippi State to beat Bama.
It won't happen.
It
won't happen. Tennessee wasn't supposed to beat Bama.
You
best believe Nick Saban went and chewed their ass a new asshole, and they will come out and play.
No, you don't think he chewed them an asshole after they almost got beat by Texas? And do you not think he chewed that same asshole when they almost got beat by A&M? It's time to stop chewing the asshole and realize that Alabama's soft. They soft like Charmin.
What is people's hate with Nick Saban? Why do people hate Nick Saban?
It's not hate with Nick Saban. I'm just saying I don't like the fact that they always rank them number 1 when they really don't deserve.
They should have been ranked number 1. Georgia should have came into this season number 1. I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree with that.
By the way, did you know the quarterback rankings right now are Stroud at 1, Hooker at 2, and then Young at 3? I'm okay with Young being. I think Young should be at 2. I think Hooker should be at 1, and I think Stroud should be at 3.
Hooker's the quarterback for Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
I think Hooker played a hell of a game.
Bro, he hung 5 touchdowns on Bama's defense.
Yeah.
I'm ready for that game, Tennessee and Georgia.
It don't get no high pressure than that. Now, if Tennessee can knock out Georgia, I think
Tennessee will knock out Georgia.
That's their bowl game. That's their bowl game. They don't need to do anything else. You beat Bama and Georgia in the same season. Hell, I'll draft 2 or 3 players from Tennessee right now.
Man, hey, listen. While we bullshitting though, Rob, what you're saying is extremely likely to happen. So don't be surprised if that really does come to fruition.
Well, talk your stuff then, McLovin. Talk your stuff.
Hey, I've been talking. That's why I said I got Hooker ranked number 1. I got Young ranked number 2. And then I got Stroud ranked number 3. I actually had the reverse of what ESPN. I did. It was either ESPN or Bleacher that came out with that rankings, but I actually had the reverse of that.
That was your first mistake. Was looking at ESPN for
Well, no, I wasn't. I was just going by what they were saying. But hey, listen, I understand, but I got my own damn opinion, guys. That's why I was just saying what they said and what I said.
I know.
Yeah. I think with Bryce Young it's kind of hard to evaluate him because Gibbs is so great at running back. And it takes so much pressure off of him at the quarterback. And I'm not faulting him for that. It's good to have a great running back, but I think Gibbs helps hide a lot of his deficiencies.
Oh, yeah.
My opinion.
And you're not.
They calling him high. They calling him high. Hey Jay, you see in the comment they calling him Heisman Hooker.
Heisman Hooker, baby. Hey, I said Hooker deserves a Heisman. I said, look, if Hooker don't get the Heisman, the other person I think that should get the Heisman too would be that high. It's either Hyatt or White, that receiver for Tennessee that put up 207 yards and 5 touchdowns on Bama as well. So I think he's got a good shot at it.
And Marty's right. We'll get a better chance of seeing how good Stroud is when they play Michigan. Because Michigan.
We'll see it before then. They gotta play Penn State before they get to Michigan.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. And I think Tennessee still has to play Georgia, and there's another team out there. There's 2 teams that Tennessee still has to go through before they can get to the championship. Yeah. So that. It's gonna be a good season. God, what a time to be alive!
Yeah, and by the way, the divisions are Alabama could get in the championship game because they don't have to play Georgia in the regular season this year.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true. God, what a time! Yeah, there's a lot of good football on Saturday plus base. I don't know how you divvy up your time over the weekend in sports, quite honestly, between NFL, college, and baseball. I mean,
and NBA.
it's going to be
Don't forget
hell.
the NBA
My
is
DVR
back.
is going to be working overtime.
Don't forget the NBA is back. Don't you do that.
Oh, and the NBA, you're right.
Oh yeah, because I
Jesus.
got 3 months. I got 3 free months of NBA League Pass thanks to FanDuel.
I'll have it on probably three different TVs and on one
Well,
TV.
you know, this is
yeah, I'm
one of those
going over
times of the
Gonzo's
year-
house for barbecuing games.
Hey, no, for real though. Hey, this is one of those times in the year when it's like literally the perfect time for if you're a sports advocate, because like you said, you get NHL, NBA, NFL, and MLB. You get all 4 sports going
And
on
NCAA.
simultaneously.
And NCAA.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And NCAA. I mean, you get 5 sports going simultaneously.
Oh yeah, it's great
to love sports.
If you're a sports fan, this is the great one. Basically, best time of the year.
Oh, dude, I've been laughing. I mean, inside the NBA, they have already kicked back off. So funny. Charles Barkley is a nut. I just want people to know that. Like bro really don't care what he say. He say whatever come to his mind, and like he like, what you want to do? Fight? Like Charles Barkley got issues. So
but Charles has always been like that. He's never been anything.
Yeah,
different.
he ain't backing down from nobody.
Which we only have one baseball game today. Then tomorrow we have 2.
Who's up in that series between the Phillies and the Padres?
It's tied 1-1.
Dang, felt bad. See, the Dodgers had to get eliminated, and then the Braves got eliminated. I mean, man, right now, and I know if the Astros beat the Yankees, oh my God, I can't wait to see Jay talk his shit.
Bruh. Hey, listen.
Wait. I'll be there for that day.
Man, listen, I'll be trending number 1 on Facebook. I promise you.
I can't wait because
I will be trending number 1 on Facebook. I will be running down the street butt naked saying, "We gotta get to the quad. We gotta get to the quad."
You my boy, Blue.
I'm gonna just come out of nowhere and just be like, Pearland. Nah, man, but yeah, man, you know, the weather out here changing in Chicago, man. So I've been under the weather, man.
It's been cold here, crazy. Man.
It's cold out here too. So, man, I've been sick these past couple of days. Feels good to get back to it, man. But now I'm about to leave.
The other day.
About to leave for Hawaii, man.
Oh, you are? There you go.
Yeah, I leave Sunday.
Man, don't forget your copper tone.
Well, you know, I come melanin equipped, so.
Oh no, just because you're black. Tell me you can't get sunburned.
Oh, you know what? I found that out in Jamaica.
Hey, listen. Hey, I don't want to see. You know, when I went down to Hawaii, he in the ICU. What the hell? What the man do?
I ain't gonna lie though. If I get a chance to, I definitely want to go check out Pearl Harbor. One of my little bucket list things to go see. So.
Man, oh man, Pearl Harbor is amazing to see, and so is obviously you got to go to the Arizona. The Battleship Arizona is an incredible thing to witness. There's still oil. You can still see oil in the water coming out of the ship. It'll probably be like that forever, but
wow.
Yeah, it's very, very powerful to see it, man. I tell you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go check it out, man. You know what I'm saying?
And then you got to go down to Hamina Bay. I hope I said it right. Hamina Bay. It's the one that looks like the turtle. I mean, that's where all the sea turtles are and everything. Man, yeah, Rob. I don't know if you swim. Rob, do you swim?
Oh, hey, I killed that myth. I used to be a junior lifeguard. This black man knows how to swim. This black man loves the water. No, Jay. I'm messing with the audience. This black man knows how to swim, baby. Taught myself how to dive too. I remember at the time when we were learning how to dive, I believe Tomb Raider had just came out with Angelina Jolie, and she had the one dive where she did her hands like that, and then she went. So we used to do that off the lifeguard chair. Oh my God.
Hey, I'm gonna be in the pool bar. He'll be in the pool bar with his drink, chilling, watching sports.
Oh, dude.
Make sure you make it down to North Shore too. That's where the pipeline is. Those waves, I swear, when you see how big that wave is, you're gonna be like, "Damn, man, I got nothing like that in Chicago."
Oh no, we just got Lake Michigan.
Hey, you get them ripples.
Hey,
No,
now
seriously, go down to North
if
Shore.
the
Hey,
storm
when you
gets
see a
strong
10
enough
foot
in
or 30
Chicago,
foot wave,
you'll see some waves in Chicago too.
man. Hey, wait till you see that 30-foot wave and at the pipeline. You're gonna be like, oh hell no, I ain't
Oh
going
look,
out.
I might go out there and get my Johnny Tsunami on.
Yeah, go ahead. I dare you. Man, that Rob, he was a good man.
You
He was a good
don't know
man.
Rob's ability on a surfboard
I'm
now.
telling
Come
you,
on.
boy, he don't know.
Hey,
Boy.
watch
He
this.
don't
Watch
know.
this. Hey, you run the money line, right?
Yeah,
Hey, you run the money line?
yeah.
I'm gonna put some money on that. I got some pretty good odds. I got some pretty good odds that I'll put on him. I tell you. No offense.
God.
I'm just
You guys are hilarious though. But yeah, I'm excited, man. I'm excited about
You'll love
this NBA
Hawaii.
season,
Hawaii is
man.
fucking awesome.
I'm excited about this NBA season, man. It's about to go down, baby. You know what I'm saying? Pelicans, man. Pelicans, Zion.
Hey, Pelicans look good.
He might be one of my new favorite players.
This Zion, is he not blending in with that team and chemistry is just flowing well? I mean, it's crazy.
I don't even think he's blending with the team. I think the team is blending with him.
And hey, vice versa. However you want to look at it. I'm just saying, like, their chemistry is on point, man. I can see this team, and that may be something that could put some wrenches in the Warriors' plans. Don't look past them.
Yeah, man, because you know what? One thing I can say about Zion, I've never seen any. I sound like Skip Bayless right now, but I've never seen anything like Zion. Right. We've never seen anything like. I mean, the dude. Shannon Sharp said it the best. If you're big, then you're too slow, and if you're not big enough, and then if you're fast, then you're not big enough, because it's no way to stop that dude. Like I'm looking at him, dude. I'm looking at him, and I'm like, okay, is anybody gonna try to force him to shoot? Like, I want to see you beat me with your jumper, because I know that you can finish with any hand at the rim. But Zion was looking at them dudes like, ain't no need to take no jumper. They can't keep me out the paint. They can't keep me out the paint. Why am I gonna shoot a jumper when I
don't have to? There's a high percentage shot right there at the freaking rim.
I mean, dude, he takes one dribble through the leg, and off that first step, he's gone. He's at the rim. I've never seen anything like a lot of people try to compare him to Charles Barkley. I'm like, yeah, those are two different animals, because Barkley was
I'm not comparing him to Charles Barkley.
Barkley was an animal in his own right, when he was in his prime, but I've never seen anything like Zion. I've never seen anything like Zion. I mean, dude.
Yeah, you can't compare him to Zion. I think
and not just that, his athletic ability, dude. Like, you ain't supposed to be that big, jumping that high, or moving that quick.
Brooklyn is the one that Pelicans are the ones that beat Brooklyn game one. That's what I was thinking.
Hey,
what a time to be alive.
Hey, Jay. I got to go. Can you close out the show for me?
I got you. Take off. Have a good time. Remember, wipe with the left hand, eat with the right.
All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, man. Be good.
It's so wrong.
Sorry, man. That's what I learned when I was in Afghanistan. Wipe with the left, eat with the right, whatever, man. Don't get them confused. Don't get them confused. But no, for real, hey, I just want to point something out here. I want to get your thought process. And this is why I feel like they can compete with the Warriors. I really think they're becoming a complete team. Like, everybody knows their roles, right? Yeah. For example, if you look at Valanciunas, he gave you 15 points, but he gave you 13 damn rebounds. So you're getting a solid rebound out of him. Then you look at Zion, which is your power forward, and he's giving you, 9 rebounds himself on 25. So, and then you look at McCollum, which is your shooting guard. He's giving you 21. I mean, he's got a complete stat line, 6 assists and 4. And then you look at Ingram, who's giving you 28 at the small forward spot. So everybody is rebound. He gives you 7 rebounds. So it's a complete rebounding team. It's a complete assisting type team. Everybody knows their spots. And then you go to the damn bench, and even Ty Murphy's giving you freaking 16 and 9 damn rebounds. I mean, this team is consistently hogging around the paint, grabbing those rebounds, making their shots to the point where they're shooting almost 50% from the field and 46% from three-point line. And I mean, I'm just saying, when you're rebounding at that level, assisting at that level, shooting at that level, and you're going against a Brooklyn team, which does have a couple of key components on there that are still good, even though the team may suck. I mean, I'm just saying, what are they going to do? And we saw what they did without Zion in the playoffs last year. They played him hard. They played him good. You throw a Zion in the mix, they continue to play like that. I mean, it's gonna. I think honestly, I think it could be the Pelicans and Warriors. What do you think in the finals before the finals?
That's definitely my sleeper team. I think the Pelicans is definitely high expectations set for them this year. You know, as far as getting out of the first round, I don't see them being in a play-in situation because I see this team being one of the top teams in the Western Conference. And I know we talk a lot about Zion, but we also got to show some love to Bi and his elevated play. I mean, Brandon Ingram right now and what we've seen last season, he is an all-star. He's an all-star. He's no longer garbage time, Brandon Ingram. He's no longer empty stats, Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram makes great buckets at great times when you need them. And right now, to add, a 20 or 25 Brandon Ingram is going to give you on a nightly basis, to add it to a 20 and 25 that Zion is going to give you on a nightly basis. And now you put CJ McCullough at a more different role than he had at Portland. I think at Portland, he was looked at to be the number 2 behind Damian Lillard, which sometimes he fell short. Now you're asking CJ to come in to be the third option and to be the playmaker for this team. And he seems to be flourishing because that's a role more suited for him, where he can hit open jumpers if needed, where he can get to the bucket as needed. But his job is to get everybody else involved. And Zion and Bi can get their own shots at any time. You got Alvarez coming off the bench. You got Valanciunas, so you don't get smaller. I think right now the Pelicans might be the scariest team in the NBA, not to mention they're ran by one of the up-and-coming coaches and Coach Willie Green, who everybody seems to love. I've listened to a lot of his motivational speeches last year in the huddle. I mean, the guy can lead men, and right now, the New Orleans Pelicans, they might be happy that they got rid of Anthony Davis if you're going to get a Zion Williamson to replace that.
Yeah, no doubt. Again, I think Zion's going to give you more than what Davis is giving you, even though both of them have been hurt for quite some time now. But I think right now, when you look at the Pelicans starting rotation, it's extremely solid 1 through 5. And then when you look at the bench, they gave you 35 tonight. They have a really good bench. And when you have a good bench and a solid rotation, I mean, sky's the limit. And they're a young team. I think CJ McCollum is probably the only one he's probably the oldest one on the team, but the team in general is still in his 20s.
Young. He is still in his 20s. So.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I mean, they're all still extremely, extremely young. I guess we'll look at. There was one other game I wanted to take a look at before we get out of here today. And I was going back to
as long as it's not baseball, Jay.
No, man, no. If I do that to you, man, it'll be a one-man show around.
You know what? You got the right to gloat right now, man. I haven't been on like the unscripted messenger to see how bad Frankie's taking it, but I've
been slowly.
Where you go, Jay? Is it just me? Am I ending the show now? All right, guys. I guess this is it. ASAP up, ASAP down. Let's ride.
Wow, I don't know where that one went, but anyway. Hey, sorry about that. I think I hit the wrong button and I kicked him out. Let me see if I can get him back in here, but hold on. I guess we're going to go ahead and probably close out. The one game I was wanting to talk about before we took off, and let me see if I can get up here real quick, and then we're going to get out. There was one game I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on. If my computer will cooperate with me. That was today's what? Wednesday, Thursday. It was Thursday. No, today's Thursday. Tomorrow. It was Thursday's game. No, it was Wednesday's. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it was the Nuggets and Jazz. That was the game that I wanted to get you guys' thought process on. When it comes to the Nuggets and Jazz, we saw that Donovan Mitchell wasn't necessarily there. And when I look at this game, with the Donovan-less team, they beat them 123-102, and that was with Joker there. That was with Murray there, but yet they get the win anyway. And how incredible is that? I mean, when you look at the team, it was Aaron Porter that gave you 22 and 10 rebounds, and the other guy was Joker. It gave you 27, but only 4 rebounds, and then Murray chimes in with 12. And that really was all that there was for the Denver Nuggets. So you had Kevin Porter Jr. or Michael Porter Jr., I'm sorry, give you 15. So you had a full Denver accoutrement. Typically speaking, when we had talked about the Denver Nuggets last year, we said that it felt like it had to be Joker that was carrying the team. But now you got Murray, now you got Porter Jr., now you got all your pieces. But yet you get blown out by a Utah Jazz team that doesn't have a Rudy Gobert, that doesn't have a Donovan Mitchell, but yet you're getting blown out. Now, you look at Rudy Gay and the bench from Utah, which gave you 20 from Sexton, 15 from Beasley, 12 from Kessler, and 16 from Gay, to go along with 13 from Mike Conley and 10 from Clarkson. But it was that bench. It was the bench of Utah that kicked the ever-living daylights out of a starting rotation in full effect of the Denver Nuggets. How much respect now do we put on the Denver Nuggets, given what they did against the depleted, quote-unquote, less star-studded, quote-unquote, Utah Jazz? Let that sink in for a minute. I think the Denver Nuggets, it's time to blow up that team or something to right that ship, because I don't think they're ever going to be able to contend with the likes of the Warriors, the Suns, or a Pelicans, or anything of that level. Maybe they stay at the bottom of the play-in or middle of the play-in. Maybe they get the 8th or 9th seed at best. But at the end of the day, this team is not built to give you They're not built to give you an NBA championship. And if you're Joker, are you going to waste away your years at that level, or are you going to look to get somewhere else to make sure you get a ring before you call it a career, given what you do in the NBA with your back-to-back MVPs and so forth? Let that sink in for a minute. Hey, everybody, it's been Jason. Thanks for Mike Hughes, Rob Scott. We had our host who had to leave a little bit early, and Chris Gonzo Gonzalez. It's your boy, Jay McLovin. You can catch me on Tuesday on the Unscripted show at 7 p.m. Eastern. You can also catch all of us on the morning show, the afternoon show at 1 o'clock going forward. You guys have a good night, and until next time, we out of here. On my side. Yes, it is. Wrong one. Man, they got thousands of videos in this son of a bitch.
Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. Whole sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. Sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Whole sports, all